Greetings, fellow traders. Bubble here. It's time for the lunchtime market update for Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020. I hope everybody's having a great trading day today. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, let's check a look and see where we're at the market here today. So SPX up 5 points. So still kind of chopping around here. Been kind of an interesting day. Weekly chart still not quite an inside week. It ticked up over the prior week's high a little bit, but still kind of a narrow range. Right. Today's range is actually kind of this little crazy little doji right here. Only 20 points. Very, very narrow range. But it's interesting, right? So the market actually kind of gapped up today on otherwise really bad headlines overnight, right? Curfews, National Guard, all that stuff, and it's a little bit rougher there, but the point is we're still holding the 200-day moving average and over the trend line, so we continue to remain bullish till proven otherwise, even though they're trying a little bit today to do that. So let's take a look at the SPY and see what they've done here so far. It's been a really tricky day today, right? So let's take a look here today. So really low volume yesterday. In fact, the lowest volume since the Corona crash. As we're kind of coming into this resistance zone right here with so I'm not surprised to see us chop here. So we had a pretty wild night last night, right? We had a big rip to the upside, right? We actually did a harmonic crab on this one to show that that worked its way down on the ES. And today it was pretty interesting, right? So we worked down, right? Had a big move down, inside 15 up, right? So it was a rally, and then there was a steep drop right here. This candle here was a really massive reversal candle, and that really dropped it down. And now we're kind of chopping around here in the middle of the 15 orb range. So it's gonna be interesting here with an inside 15. So it's gonna be interesting to see which way this breaks out, one way or the other. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at the S&P futures here. Again, same thing, just kind of chopping around here in the middle of the day. Let's take a look at the MES. There's our crab pattern right there too. Pretty cool stuff. And you can see here, we're just kind of chopping around right here. Even some low volume here as well. Let's take out that even the 5-minute chart here just to see what it's up to, right? So, gave a reversal doji right here with some volume, worked its way down a little bit. Now it's just kind of retesting those levels. So see how those levels hold. But again, we are seeing so lower low, lower high. So we'll see what it does, right? So, it could, potentially be working on a larger time harmonic, right? We might be seeing something like this, or high, right? We'd want to see, this could be a 3.8 pullback, and then we, could see a move up here again, and then another drop. So we'll have to see exactly how that plays out for the rest of the day. But we're definitely keeping an eye on these candles here and the volume. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the Qs and see how they're behaving this morning. So the Q's doing okay here. So, a little bit, again, big rally here, a little bit of a bigger drop in the Q's. So just kind of keep an eye on the tech. One of the ones we pointed out in the group this morning was Apple, which we'll look at in a little bit. So IWM, crazy back and forth moves on this one today. They did buy the dip here, and they're trying to get to the 15 orb high, so that's kind of interesting as well. But Apple's one we pointed out as a short concept here as we were breaking out of the 15 orb low. Ended up giving a sharp move down there as it tested the pre-market box lows and the lows of the day, and we give a nice move down here. So we're just kind of chopping. It's a real quick type trade, but definitely one that you can capitalize on. Tesla's been pretty interesting, right? So down 10 points today. Had a huge day yesterday off the hype from the SpaceX over the weekend, and then it too gave a 15 orb breakdown right here. Now it's kind of retesting the 15 orb low. So let's see how it holds that one. JP Morgan from the game plan yesterday, the public game plan. If you guys caught that. I said if there's weakness on this, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on right here. So it broke down its 15 orbs low and is gave a nice move down on that one. So good stuff there. A few chart requests out there. Let's take a look at Etsy. Etsy. So had a huge move this morning. Nice push to the upside right here. It's coming back over the 15 orb high. Really in terms of the daily chart, it's interesting. It's holding its 80 MA. So see if it can continue to get some strength on that one. Oxy. Pretty interesting, actually, a decent candle day. So some of the oil sector's been pretty good. We pointed out a few ones that were really tricky, but I like, there's a decent 15 orb bounce right here. It was tough without the volume coming in on the breakout. There was even this candle here out of the 15 orb was a decreased volume move, but it still popped off of it anyway. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on though going forward. Piton. Interesting move, right? So was starting to break down right here. I like the inside 15. I had an alert there to see if it broke down any farther, but it didn't. So it's holding the 15 orb high. So that's looking pretty interesting there as well. Let's take a look at the see how it's looking on the daily chart. Weekly chart actually looks pretty good. Daily chart, bit of an upper shadow here at the fib fan line, so just use that as some caution here today. Chewy with some big volume here this morning. It'll probably end up pretty strong. It's got earnings coming up. Great candle today. There was some good call volume in this one early this morning. Some of our members jumped on that when we heard about that, and some of those calls doubled right through this range right here, and then it pulled back to the 15-orb high and gave a nice bounce off of that as well. And then one more one here, GDX. So really interesting right here is the market's struggling. The miners are pulling back. So let's see how far these things can pull back. Right now it's a bearish engulfing candle, so let's see where it ends up today. It's right now below its 21-day moving average. This is why I know members caught this one short as well at the open. Never got above this double inside 15 high, so what did it do? Double inside 15 down and gave a huge move to the downside today on GDX. So good stuff. Keep an eye on those miners and the gold and silver and see how they go. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your trading day. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys.